Is Tyler Herro already extended in secret? There's a lot of speculation that this is the case. And I'm here to tell you and talk about the extension rumors, but I'll tell you right now, he is not already extended. He's not. So, can we pump the brakes a little bit here? We'll go through everything and then give my thoughts on what the Herro extension would look like, what it should look like, and everything in between. But let me know your thoughts down in the comments before we get underway. Do you want to extend Tyler Herro? Type E for extend, type D if you do not. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. Well, here is the situation on Herro. Some key information if you were not already aware. He is not eligible to sign this extension until October. And there's a 20-day window from October 1st to October 20th. Now, the extension that he would sign in that period, if he did, would be a 3-year, $149.7 million deal, $49.9 million in AAV. Now, if the Heat and Herro do not get a contract extension done in that 20-day time frame, well, then he is not eligible until signing an extension until the following offseason, where it would become a little bit larger. Now, the total money doesn't change that much. It's still floated around $50 million. It becomes a 4-year, $206.9 million extension. If it's not signed this year, and God forbid he makes the All-NBA team, then it would become a 5-year, $380 million deal. But at that point, if he's a top 15 player in the world based off his performance that season, well, then you're probably a little bit more comfortable giving him that deal, right? But here is where the speculation started. Well, Bobby Marks went through a list of top players that are extension eligible this offseason and talked about what it would look like, what his prediction would be. And Bobby Marks, who does an excellent job in the front office of Miami, actually likes him and tells him some things. He just made the prediction being the key word here, that the Heat and Herro ultimately come to that agreement on the 3-year, $149.7 million extension. So, if you're keeping track at home, this is not him saying it will happen. This is not him saying it already has been agreed upon in principle and they'll just sign it in October. This is just what he thinks will happen. And yeah, he has some relationships with the front office, but it is not a stamp of approval, hey, this is definitely going to happen. And when you have NBA Central, who I do like and is a really solid aggregator, saying that he expects the Heat and Herro to sign the extension, that's not what he said. That's just what his prediction is. And like, if he had to come to an expectation, it's not him saying it is going to happen. I think that's where a lot of people are getting confused over the last 48 hours. And 5 Reasons Sports, Ethan J. Skolnick said the same thing. Like, no one reported that the Heat are giving Herro. Like, it hasn't even been formally offered at this point in the offseason. It's not a prediction, or it was a prediction, not a report. Like, we need deep breaths, people. Like, I know Tyler Herro is as divisive as a figure as you can possibly find among Heat fans. Some people think he's really good. Some people think he's really bad. Some people can't find the in-between. Either way, he is not extended. The extension has not been offered. So let's take a little bit of a chill pill. And then now we can have a very even-keeled discussion on what Miami should do with Tyler Herro this offseason. But this is why you subscribe to the channel. We're on the road to 23K subs. We're talking rumors. I'm giving you an opinion on the Herro facts. And if Tyler Herro actually was extended, we would have a video letting you guys know that. So you don't have to ask me on Twitter or in the comments. Hit that sub button and join the channel today. But here is where the conversation will continue on this episode. Should the Heat even give Tyler Herro this 3-year extension this offseason, or should they wait and potentially see what happens in this upcoming season? Well, I think it's going to be a tough pill to swallow, and I think it is also very dependent on what the rest of the offseason looks like. Do the Miami Heat ultimately acquire a third player that's an all-star level guy next to Bam and Herro to help compete? Maybe. Like, do they go out and get a Durant, a DeRozan? Do they get out and grab a Ja or something like that? I don't know. But one thing that is clear when it comes to Tyler Herro, he has improved, right? You see the numbers. He's been a consistent 20-point-per-game scorer over the last 4 seasons, took that leap this season, which is why he was an all-star in terms of his efficiency from beyond the arc, from the field. And another key part here is those games played. He played more than 65 games. He was in 77, which was something that Pat Riley challenged him to do last offseason. We referenced this press conference a lot, but he called out Tyler Herro. He called out Jimmy Butler, both not being able to play more than 60 games in that 2023-24 season. And obviously, there was the infamous, if you're not on the court playing, you should shut up. Herro responded, played his best basketball in his career, played in 77 games, first-time All-Star, and his direction and his trajectory is in a very good way right now. But the question still remains, is it good enough to garner a $50 million contract over multiple seasons? I'm not sure. More to come here in a second. But we are sponsored by Prize Picks, the daily fantasy sports platform I play every single day. Join me and the millions of others. It's so easy. All you do is pick more or less on a few player stat projections, and you can win up to 2,000 times your cash today. The basketball playoffs are headed towards crowning a first-time champ in more than 50 years, so don't miss your last chance to cash in on history with Prize Picks. Pick more or less on player stats like points, rebounds, assists, points, rebounds, and assists, three-pointers, and more. You can also mix and match player projections from different sports, whether it's basketball, baseball, hockey, esports, golf, and much more. I have a 3-player entry for the first game of the final series. More than Miles Turner, 5 rebounds, less than Halliburton, 17.5 points, and more than Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, 10.5 free throws attempted. 3-player entry there to win up to 5 times my money, but you can win up to 2,000 times your cash today when you get started on Prize Picks. Just download the app, use code CLNS to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. That is code CLNS to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks, run your game. All right, I've tippy-toed around the subject on if I would give Tyler Herro the max extension this offseason. I have said it on Twitter, so if you want more heat, thoughts from yours truly, make sure you give me a follow. But this is the first time I'm declaring it on YouTube. I am very firm on this. I am not giving Tyler Herro the 3-year, $149.7 million extension this offseason. I have a couple key reasons why. Reason number one, he has still not proven that he can be a lead guy on a winning team, and he hasn't even been able to prove that he could be an efficient and impactful playoff performer. Now, good for Tyler for being in the NBA playoffs every single year of his career. He's been in the league 6 years. He's played in 6 playoff games at least. So when you look at his career, it's not pretty. It just isn't. Now, you could actually say his best playoff performance was when he was a rookie in the bubble, when he helped the Heat get to the finals, averaging 16 points a game off the bench. Obviously had that unbelievable series in the conference finals against the Celtics, that unbelievable 37-point performance in Game 4, where he just was hitting step back after step back after step back. Well, that was the peak of his playoff career. Came back the next season in that series against Milwaukee. They got embarrassed, and he was atrocious. Then he wins 6th Man of the Year in 21-22, but has one of the worst playoff runs I've ever seen. And if he just was average in the playoffs, well, the Heat probably beat the Celtics in the conference finals and are playing the Warriors for an NBA championship in that 2022 NBA Finals. I mean, those numbers are atrocious. Then he gets hurt in 22-23 as the Heat make their run to the finals as the 8th seed. Gets hurt in the first game of the playoffs in the first half after putting together a really good first 24 minutes. And then the last 2 years. One series, hasn't been good, hasn't been efficient. He needs to prove he can do it. He just has been unable to make the statement that he is a playoff riser. We often look around the league. Who is a playoff dropper? Who is a playoff riser? One of the biggest playoff risers in recent memories has been Andrew Nembhard, the combo guard that complements Tyrese Halliburton. He rises every postseason. Tyler Herro has consistently dipped in the playoffs. And you can't have a guy that is top 2 on your team and one of your leading dudes be a consistent playoff dropper, making $50 million per season, and win a title. That just isn't how it works. So that is a major concern and red flag from me. Reason number 2, I truly do believe Herro is not a $50 million player in the NBA, at least to this point. If he is somehow able to come back next season, make the All-Star team again, flirt with an All-NBA appearance and have the Heat not in the play-in, but in the actual playoffs, top 6, and maybe even win a playoff series as a top 2, 3 guy on a squad, well, maybe we could have a different conversation. But that's also waiting a year to see if he can prove it again, which is why, to this point, I am not paying him this offseason. But let's do some other math as well here. That contract projection, he's making $49.9 million in an annual average value over the 3 seasons in that extension. Well, if you continue to give the max salary cap projection to the NBA year after year, the salary cap in 27-28, when the first year of the Herro extension would kick in, would be $187 million. So if you can do some other quick math with $49.9 million as an annual average value, that takes up 26.6% of the cap. That is a massive allotment for a player you are unsure of being a top 2 guy on a championship team. Then you factor in Bam Adebayo has a much larger contract than Tyler Herro because he's been on the All-NBA defensive team. He's been an All-NBA type of player, a consistent multi-time All-Star. Here, his extension and his current contract in 27-28 is $55.1 million. Well, that's 29.4% of the salary cap. So then when you combine it and you think really hard about it, if you combine Herro and Bam's potential extension and contract value in 27-28, those two would combine for 56% of your salary cap. Now, that doesn't account for the first apron and the luxury tax. That's just purely salary cap. But the point still remains. Bam Adebayo and Herro have not proven the ability to be your 1 and 2 duo on a team that could even win a playoff series. Just one playoff series. So are you okay with them combining for 56% of your salary cap? Probably not, which is why I'll ask you this. Can Bam and Herro be your 2 best players on a team that competes for an NBA championship? I believe the answer is a pretty firm no, but you can let me know your thoughts down in the comments right now. Obviously, I just say no, they can't. And in today's CBA, where the second apron is so punitive and it's just harder to build a quote-unquote super team, and I think we are heading towards an NBA that is predicated on duos with some $20 million, $15 million, $10 million contracts to support them. I think you're going to have 2 max guys on a roster and then filled out with guys making $20 to $25 million. That's where we're heading. That's what the new CBA is going towards. So if you give Herro and Bam max extensions, you're saying, well, those 2 are your lead guys. And I just don't think you'd be able to acquire a 3rd star that makes max money. And I also don't believe that those 2 can lead you to a title, at least what we've seen right now. So I want to take a look now at some other contracts in the NBA to where I think Tyler Herro should live rather than getting the max $50 million per season he would get right now if that's what he is going for. Well, here's a key player. How about OG Anunoby, who signed before this past season a 5-year, $212.5 million contract with the Knicks in free agency. You see the annual average value increase by about $3 million over 5 seasons with the player option in 28-29. I think this is exactly where Tyler Herro should live. It feels right to me. And is Tyler Herro better than OG Anunoby? Like, would you rather have Herro as your second or third lead guy? Probably. But you see how impactful OG is in the postseason, giving you 18, 16 points a game, playing all-NBA caliber defense on guards, on wings, on big men. Like, OG is super, super versatile and impactful to winning basketball. And I don't think it's disrespectful whatsoever to say, based off what we've seen so far in Tyler Herro's career, that he should be making that same range of money in between $38 and $45 million rather than a max $49, $50 million contract. I don't think that's disrespectful at all. And there's another contract that I would like to show. It's the one that the Raptors gave to Brandon Ingram after acquiring him at the NBA trade deadline. It was a 3-year contract where he gets $38.1 million, $40 million, and then $41.9 million over that 3-year deal. That just simply needs to be Tyler Herro's price range. I'm sorry. If the Heat want to compete for an NBA championship, Bam Adebayo is already on that max contract. he deserves it because he is just a more consistent winning piece due to his two-way ability on defense and offense. Herro at this point is not a consistent playoff offensive performer, and he is a hunted target on the defensive end of the floor. If you want a title team to be in Miami with Herro and Bam, you need a number one guy and then Herro and Bam to complement them. But you can't have that if Herro and Bam are both on max contract extensions. So if Herro is truly about winning, which I know it's hard for him to take a $10 million discount, he needs to be making around $40 to $44 million per season. That's his price range. Bam at 50 to low 50, Herro at low 40s, and then a potential another lead guy making a max $50, $55 million contract. That's just simply is the pathway to success for Miami if you want Herro and Bam to be on the roster for a title contending team. So to me, those contracts of Brandon Ingram and OG Anunoby, who are absolutely in the tier of players that Herro are in right now, in my opinion, that's the blueprint, man. It really, really is. All right, I'll do it for this episode of the Heat Report. Appreciate everybody hanging out with us on this pretty divisive topic. If you want more Heat content on the daily, subscribe and make sure you turn on notifications so you don't miss anything.